Hello again, everyone. Happy September. Got before me my progress for the month of August, which I did pretty good. I mean, I got these 4 painted up pretty well. Here is the bow and arrow elf lady from Cursed City. She turned out really nice. I used the Masterclass whatever on painting horns for this lady, and for the bow and also for the horns on her head, and that turned out really well. I started really working on the details, and then I realized that these are going to be gaming pieces, and that my 9 and 11-year-old sons are going to be playing with them a lot, and so I decided that I shouldn't invest super amounts of work into them. Just make them as good as I would like them to be, and then be able to use them for painting. This is the priestess lady. She was hard to paint because right here on this arm piece, it was really difficult. And a lot of these are not cut up like the old Marines used to be and other stuff like that, where you could easily leave stuff off. The only thing I could leave off was the back part. This whole back part was a single piece that pressed into the back of their headpiece here. And I painted that. I painted this part up on its own, and was really thinking about, the studio models have like letters all up and down the back of those ribbons. But again, for the same reason, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. I got the 2 big ogre zombie guards painted up, and really just have Radakar the wolf and the evil necromancer, and then 2 more, the dwarf engine rigger and the disgraced noblewoman to paint up. These were a lot of fun, actually. I did a Vallejo khaki over these, and then the contrast paint was it something army, something that's kind of an off green or an olive green contrast paint. And it covered those well, and then I just went back over it with khaki, and it makes a perfect zombie flesh. And then did dark oath flesh for this. It's very dark purpley, so it looks kind of congealed, bloody. Put it on the gums, I put it in the eyes and the nose, and then in any spots where there was exposed flesh. Let's see if I can move my camera over here. Oops, there's the telephone. Let's pause our show real quick. Alright guys, that was my kid's school calling in. This is actually the second take of the second half of this video, because I pulled out my Lord of the Rings figures that I had, and I went on a rant about the Rings of Power, and you guys don't want to hear that. So we'll just say that I was not pleased with the first offering. I watched the first episode. I'm going to come back and watch the second one later and see if I like it or not. I don't have high hopes for it, but again, I don't want to get into it, because it gets into full-on angry nerd neckbeard fire sort of thing, and just listening to myself rant in the previous take, decided that I was not going to add on to it. But again, I've got these guys all painted up. They were a lot of fun to paint up with their death and their decay and their problems. They look cool, and it makes you really understand why Bertog, the other ogre, is so angry, because these were his brothers, not necessarily physical brothers, but they were his comrades in arms, and he is on a vengeance tear to take on Radakar the wolf, which here he is in all his glory. For this model is really cool as long as you don't look at the sword blade. He's got his cool wolf pelt. He's got his shirt off with some scratches on his chest where he's, I guess, itching for fleas or whatever. You can tell I did the base already. I need to touch up the chopped off head there. But his sword, it's hard to see because it's all in its night camo. It's super corroded. And, like for these guys, they've been dead. They're rotting. That's fine. He is undead and a vampire. And I feel like he would just keep better care of his sword. Maybe he has a corrosive poison on it, and that's why it's eating into the steel, or something. But I guess it fits in with the undead theme. But I felt that he should have had a nice strong S-word, and not been so corrupt and corroded. in that one. Other guy that I'm working on is the Necromancer. So I'm honestly, I could probably sit down and get these guys done in about a week. Just because now that the kids are back in school, I have a lot more time to do stuff, and can get things done. I did notice that I had forgot. The way they cut these models and glued them together. I know I mentioned it with her, where it's hard to paint under her elbow there. It just didn't make a lot of sense, and so there's this huge seam line that runs across the cloak there. And if I want to fix that, I'm going to have to sand all the primer off, and then fill that in with green stuff. Because I've got the perfect plastic putty from Tamiya or whatever, and I've never been able to get that to work. It just is always, I can see the dent in it afterwards, and so I have to use green stuff to fill that in. And I'm just not going to be bothered, because again, gaming token. My kids are going to play with this. It's going to get roughed up. The paint's going to get chipped. Everything's going to get scratched up. And it is not worth the effort to go like 100%. Hey, I'm going to win a Golden Demon with this for multiple reasons. Not the least being that Eye and Golden Demon quality are not necessarily the same. But with these two, I've got two other models that will need to be done. Haven't even gotten them primed. But it's the Dwarven guy, and then the noble lady. But she'll be fun to paint. She's got all her cool S-word, and standing on broken stone, and he's standing on broken skeleton. So that's fine. I've always liked the Caradron Overlord models, and just never have bought an army of them, mostly because I have so much crap. But after this, I think I'm going to either going to reward myself with just a fun figure like a 75mm, either Limbo Division or Kingdom Death, or I might build an airplane. I've got a Tamiya P57 at 1/48 scale that is sitting over on the shelf, and I think that would be a fun one to build. I've always liked the P47, but I can wax eloquent on that later. Yeah, that was pleasant. You're welcome. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a good day. If you've watched the Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, and you have an opposite opinion of me, or the same, I guess, but just put what you think of it down in the comments. All four of you who are watching, and I would like to hear, especially if you like it, I would like to hear why. And if you don't like it, then I have a million reasons, and I'll see if they're the same reasons. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good weekend. Have a good Labor Day on Monday. Grill out, cook stuff, have some adult beverages if you take that sort of thing, and if not, then drink a soda or sweet tea, whichever. Anyway, have a good one. Adios.